Uranium One is much ado about nothing. This video is about a link most people have failed to talk about when talking about the Uranium One story. The Uranium One deal is a deal whereby a Russian company, which is Rosatom, acquired a Canadian company, which is Uranium One. Uranium One had a license that covers 20% of the U.S. uranium reserves that are licensed to be mined. This deal has morphed into a claim that Hillary Clinton sold 20% of the U.S. uranium for money given to Bill Clinton for making a speech and for Russian donations to the Clinton Foundation. I've done a previous video about Uranium One. In that video I pointed out that not only did Hillary Clinton okay the deal, but also the Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Commerce, the Attorney General, the U.S. Trade Representative, and the Office of Science and Technology signed off on the deal. The deal was that Rosatom could buy Uranium One. The ore that Uranium One has in the U.S. cannot be exported. The uranium that they mine goes to U.S. power plants. Whereas Uranium One has a license for 20% of the uranium ore in the United States, they only produce 11% of the uranium. The link that most people missed in the story is at the time of the Uranium One deal, and as a part of a nuclear arms agreement, Russia was shipping weapons-grade uranium from its nuclear warheads to the U.S. to be processed and used to generate electricity. 10% of all U.S. electricity comes from nuclear power, and half of that came from Russian warhead uranium. So that means that 5% of the U.S. electricity was being generated from uranium from Russian warheads. So if the Russians really had nefarious purposes in mind when they purchased Uranium One, it is utterly ridiculous, because the ore of Uranium One was of low grade, which means an extra expense of processing it into uranium, and then it means a further expense of processing the uranium from being ordinary uranium, which is 99.3% U-238 and 0.7% U-235, into uranium, which is 90% U-235, and that is a very expensive process when they're shipping the weapons-grade uranium to us already. The absurdity of the Russians doing that can be seen by an analogy for those who don't understand uranium. It would be the equivalent of the Russians buying low-grade iron ore to make battleships out of when they were in the process of selling the same battleships to the United States for steel scrap. The real purpose of the acquisition of Uranium One by Rosatom was so that Rosatom could get access to the mines that Uranium One had in Kazakhstan.